This is the story of my backpacking trip through South America. I start in Ecuador, where I will learn Spanish and see other parts of the country. I continue traveling through the Colombian landscapes, from the desert to a 4-day hike in the jungle to the lost city. From there, I fly to Bolivia and meet my friend Aranca. Together we travel to great heights and the freezing cold. In Argentina, I only visit the northern part and check out the area of Salta and Buenos Aires. I cross the border to Brazil to see the Iguazu Falls and end the trip in Rio de Janeiro. But let's start at the beginning. My 4-month journey starts here in Ecuador, where I will be staying for 5.5 weeks. The largest part of that time I will be staying in this town Montañita. Here I take a 5-week Spanish course. I will explore other parts of Ecuador in the weekends, when there are no classes. And besides studying Spanish, I will volunteer for 4 weeks at an orphanage. So yes, this is my very first time backpacking solo in South America, and I thought really long and hard about it how I wanted to do this. But because of my experience in January in Nicaragua, I really felt like I need to learn some Spanish before I be on my own in South America. I found the website Oak Travel, who offer many different types of traveling, and the combination of learning Spanish while volunteering sounded perfect to me. I have done some travels before where I volunteer for a week at a building site. The first time was in 2022 with Habitat for Humanity in Romania. I actually was supposed to go in 2020 to Nepal, but due to the corona epidemic, it was not possible. Romania was one of the first countries to open their doors to the building teams of Habitat. Because people donated money and it was not clear if and when the project of Nepal would continue, it was an easy choice. And it was such a great experience, such a friendly group of hardworking people, all joining hands to help other families in other countries. Because of that experience, I was asked to join part of the group to the trip to Nepal in 2023. I made a separate video of that experience, so you can check that out on my channel, where we also combine traveling with volunteering. And for me, this feels like a great way to travel. So I decided that during my backpacking trip, I wanted to do some volunteering as well. So I booked 5 weeks of Spanish classes, with 1 week of surfing classes and 4 weeks of volunteering. With the organization, I could stay at the accommodation with other students from the Montañita Spanish School. It was such a great time, and those 5 weeks felt like a home to me. The school organized activities during the week. It always started with a welcoming dinner on Mondays to get to know the new students, and an evening activity on Wednesdays and Fridays. On the weekends they organized bigger trips, like weekend getaways or day trips. It was such a great experience and I cannot recommend it enough. So yeah, all ready to start the adventure. It's time to say goodbye to my family at the airport. Arrived a few days earlier than my classes would start, so I took the opportunity to get to know Quito a bit. I stayed at the Secret Garden hostel in Quito, which is such a nice and friendly hostel, and well known among backpackers. It has a spectacular view from the rooftop. The shared dorm was great. I got some curtains for privacy, a locker and enough space for my luggage. The hostel has its own travel agency, which gave me plenty of opportunities to explore the city and its surroundings. The next morning, I decided to join the free walking tour offered by the hostel. After enjoying my breakfast at the rooftop, I'm getting ready to start my first activity. Fernando, our tour guide, definitely made this tour a success. He leads us with a lot of energy and enthusiasm through the streets of Quito, and moreover, he made it very easy for the group to connect. We stopped at a few amazing buildings, like the Notre Dame of Quito.
Everybody, welcome to the middle of the world. Okay? Y ahora sí, my friends, for exercise, Going up, vámonos. The Mother Nature, Mother Earth, Pachamama, indigenous, and Catholic for our parents, grandparents, boom. We are a mix. It's for that reason, for some people, Catholic buildings is a touristic attraction, okay? Because I promise you, if you go back, go inside, you are going to find more tourists than local people. In denomination, just Mexico, they can create tequila. It's like champagne. France, they can make it, okay? But, recommendation, if you are in Ecuador, go to the indigenous communities and asking for chawarmishki, okay? Because the chawarmishki is coming from agave, but it's different. Sometimes it's not liquid, it's slimy, okay? Over there, the police doesn't exist, okay? It's for that reason sometimes robbers are waiting for tourists in the middle of the obstacle. On the top, it's very safe. Police, security guards, and look for the best day, okay? For example, yesterday, I was there 7 a.m. without the clouds, and I was looking the Coco volcano. Or if you are a romantic person, the sunset is really nice, okay? But that's, don't forget.
We enter the museum of Camilo Egas, an artist who paints the indigenous. In this museum you also see how to recognize houses of the rich. If you see bones between the tiles or moving water from fountains, you know this person has money.
Energy to the Pachamama and receive the positive energy from the Pachamama, okay? Entonces, my friends, right now listening the songs. Listo, DJ.
Hace la música.
Listening, a ver, and with the rhythm, moving your legs, okay? Looking, bam, bam. Main square meeting point. Around to the square 4 buildings. For example, everybody looking at it is the presidential palace, is the White House. Okay, what do you think? The president is living there? Yes or no?
No.
Yes, he's living there. It's for that reason you're looking the metallic structure, police over there. Anybody can go very close to the building. It's to protect the life of the president. On your back, the shopping mall is the main office of the Catholic Church. All the orders from the Catholic Church in Ecuador are coming from here, okay? To my right side, the new white building, City Hall, the office of the leader, the head of Quito City, the mayor. And on my back, the cathedral. This one is the power of God. Those are the 4 buildings in colonial style cities, South America, okay? Y ahora sí, what is the plan? Going up.
Then we walk in the street with 7 churches. Across from the famous Golden Church, we stop at a pink building. In the facade you see many angels. The artist who made it didn't get paid for this, so to make a statement against the church, he gave one of the angels a penis. So now it is said that you have to take a picture of it to prevent 7 years of bad sex. We end the tour with a chocolate tasting.
It's called the boy in Africa. But the best is Ecuador. Cacao belongs to South America. Between Trinidad and Tobago and Ecuador is where cacao grows naturally, and that makes our cacao special, different. Our cacao has a condition called agrostatic, and this allows the fruit absorb flavors from all around, through the roots and through the pollination.
Like it?
I feel
The chili is at the end. Some of you, but the next combination is the most popular chocolate combination in the world. It's chocolate with grounded coffee beans. Chocolate and coffee.
It's getting hot.
like a spicy, a little spicy.
Chocolate and coffee.
Very tasty after.
After this amazing tour, I'm ready for my second, to see the equator. We start the tour with an introduction to the Amazon, what kind of animals you find there, and the different tribes living there. And some of the customs they have, especially around the shrunken head. She explains to us what they do when they kill an enemy and cut off their head.
using it to remove everything, just to leave hair and skin. Then he put medicinal plants with water, and when the water started to boil it was time to submerge the head several times, and the vapors will then shrink the head. Then he saw the eyes, the mouth, the incision, because if he didn't do this, the spirit will take revenge. He put hot stones in the empty part of the head to mold the facial features and to reduce it like a fist. If you see the size of my fist, it's really similar.
After the introduction about the rituals of the Amazon, we are ready to go see the real equator and do some scientific experiments.
And the leaves we have here to see if there is any vortex or spinning right in the middle, okay? Are you ready to start? ¿Estás listo para empezar? 1, 2, 3. ¿Viste algún movimiento giro?
As you can see, the leaves and so the water goes straight down the gutter at the equator and goes clockwise at the southern hemisphere and counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere. They also explained that recently they found evidence that cacao is originally from Ecuador. We finish at the monument built for the equator, but it's actually a few meters from the real equator, which was in the park. The next morning I'm picked up by a company to do a day hike to Cotopaxi. The drive up to the volcano takes a few hours. So in the meantime, he's trying to teach us something about Ecuador. They're really proud of the fruits and flowers. Because of their location, they have the best fruit all year. We are with 4 people who will start the hike. One woman who climbed the Kilimanjaro before, but unfortunately feels unwell the minute we are at 4,600 meters. And 2 Americans, a guy who was in great condition and a girl who partied a bit too hard the day before, which unfortunately influenced her adaptation to the altitude as well. And then me. Last time in Peru I got altitude sickness, so this time I was aware that I should not drink the day before, especially because 2 days earlier I was still living at sea level.
Are short. You can see this, the back side of your yard.
We have been dropped at 4,600 meters and we're walking to the base camp at 4,800 meters. We are at halfway point and already the second person is stopping because of the altitude. And I'm not gonna lie, it is really hard. It took us 45 minutes to walk 200 meters up. When we finally reach base camp, it becomes very clouded. We make a few pictures, drink a cup of coca and start descending to the rest. And now we're ready for the second activity, which is biking down the volcano. To be honest, it is more braking than actually cycling, but it is still tricky because it's so steep. I know it doesn't look like it, but it actually really was steep. So on our way down, I constantly needed to control the brakes. Cycling only happened on the flatter parts at the end. The other 2 were way more careful on their bikes and stayed a bit behind, which gave me plenty of space to do it my way. Here is where the real cycling starts. It's just a little bit downhill. this point, I can see the van coming closer behind me. The others have quit and are being brought to the lake. On our way back to the city, we stop for lunch at a fantastic spot, where we can feed the animals they keep there.
Wow, she's bigger and bigger and bigger. You can feed everyone, the dogs.
Dogs, do you eat them?
Yes. Let's throw it.
This is my start of the trip. In the next video, you will see Montañita, where I will stay for a longer time, and also explore other parts of the East Coast.